This is just a sound check test. I don't know where Roadie is. He's supposed to be doing the sound check today. Oh, there goes Roadie. Can everyone go ahead and say, hi? Hi, everyone. Let us know you're here and you can hear us, please.
Ready, say hi. Ah.
Thanks for letting us know you're here. We'll be with you in just a minute.
Hi everyone, it is I, Lady Heather, and welcome today to my Lady Heather-o-ween live stream. And you are going to be enjoying the attack of Roadie the Zombie Squirrel from our Pinecone Cafe. Get ready, let's have some fun. This is going to be a really fun live stream. We're here in my haunted cemetery, getting closer and closer to Halloween. Before we get coloring, which today's coloring is going to be with Copic markers and Prismacolor pastels, I need you to grab your favorite beverage and some snacks. My snacks. Some squirrel peanuts. So, we're going to take a brief break and let's get ready to have some fun and enjoy some of Roadie's favorite food. Hi everyone, Lady Heather here. Thank you for everyone who is joining us today. Get ready, like I said, to have some real fun. Today's live stream is going to be a bit different insofar as coloring. We're going to be approaching this like if it was a comic book art. So it's kind of going to be an easy breezy coloring, no fancy background. For those of you who are on my Patreon, who are Patreon members, I should say, you're able to download the cover art with the attack of the zombie squirrels as a special treat from me to you, along with this illustration. For those of you who do not have the line art, this can be found at my online store at www.colorofloveshop.com. Go to see, we're being visited by squirrels here, naturally. Go to my shop and you can download him and you can join in on the fun. A couple things I want to talk about before we get started. I want to address last week's live stream. We did the haunted ballerina, and I have not finished this image, and there's a reason why. During the live stream, and this is kind of like my disclaimer, during the live stream, I was using pastels on a new paper, and my fault. I have used Cansen's paper products for years, decades, okay? And I've used pastels for 4 decades and never ever encountered what I did using the Cansen's My Tints paper. This is the My Tints Touch paper, by the way. It is the sanded paper. For those of you who watch, you know kind of what happened. The pastels, no, were flawless, okay? I used Derwent pencils, pastel pencils, premium pencils, not Derwent's fault. This is Cansen's flaw. I don't know if I just said, when I go live, I've learned my lesson to make sure you try the paper ahead of time. I just thought because it was Cansen's, there would be no issue, because Cansen's has, you know, a very reputable, quality paper. Like I said, I've used their mixed media paper for years and never had a problem. I've used other paper, never had a problem. The pastel, and I'm going to try to zoom in here for you, besides the fact that it wasn't adhering, and then when I went ahead and in this little area here on this white line here, which was done with the colored pencils, I showed you a product called Russian Pencil. Whatever. It's a powder blender that mixes the mixes the colored pencil, which I outlined, and it should have blended it. And I think it was Glenda who says she's worked with that product. It's not a fault of that product either, okay? It should have worked on this paper. It works on everyone else's paper but my tints. So I thought right there was a red flag. Then, as you can see, the image has even faded more. But what I want to show you, and I'm going to get cued in, even though I use the applicator, okay, over here on the sleeve, it has no bearing with this, and this has grown and grown in other areas, such as her hair, down here on her sleeve. And the pastel is disappearing. This is literally like it's clumping up. Once again, not a fault of Derwent pastel pencils. Why? Because this was done with Derwent pastel pencils. Let me back out. On Lux archival paper. You saw me do it live. There is no issues with this. So the issue lies with Cansen paper, the My Tints Touch. I contacted them. Okay? Heard from 3 different people. No answers. They basically brushed me off. Didn't care. I explained to them right off the bat. I use no media, or no other media to blend the pencils. Regardless if it was my finger, I had no no product on my hand other than, my naked finger, basically. There was no lotions, no nothing. I'm telling you, this is a paper flaw. Finally, I was able to have Cansen's tell me, oh, well, there is a flaw. It's been, and this has gone on all throughout the week. France, one of their divisions, has discovered the flaw. Okay, I have no idea what the flaw is. They won't tell me. I'm very, very, very disappointed how Cansen's handled this. And needless to say, unless I hear something, I as to what's going on, what they're doing, at least tell me what's happened with the paper. Something. I am not recommending anyone to buy the Cansen's My Tints Touch sanded paper because of this until I have some answers. So, I'm sorry for having going on live and winging this, but like I said, you would think that there would be no problem with the product, and there isn't. I mean, there just isn't. Okay, it's not the pastels and it's not the other paper. So if you want to try this on the sanded paper, I recommend the Luxe Archival paper, which you can get from brushandpencil.com. Premium stuff, and of course, like I said, it's not Derwent pastel pencils. They're phenomenal. So with that being said, I will be doing the Haunted Music Box on the new Luxe Archival Premium Sanded Art Paper, and I will be sharing that tutorial with you. So now let's get back to the Squirrel of the Hour, Roadie. As you can see, or as many of you, I hope, have watched my promo from the week, a meteor attacked Roadie's Pinecone Cafe. Let me tell you a little bit about that. As you know, for those of you who have been through, this is week number 5, isn't it? With the Lady Heather-o-ween this year's coloring event. Roadie was created or came into play, I think it was two weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 live streams ago with Carl. He has a squirrel. It is not his wife's and his pet squirrel. It is a squirrel that lives on his property and kind of took up residence in his tree. And he has other little squirrels, but this squirrel is pretty much like a demon child, just devious and mischievous and a little terror.
He thinks pine cones are hand grenades and Carl's the target.
Yeah, pretty much. and his wife. But what was so cool is I was able to communicate with Carl and his wife, found out a little more about the squirrel, and kind of found out that Carl is an illustrator. So Carl's Roadie's Pinecone Cafe, the drawing in the beginning that takes shape throughout our little comic movie, was created by him. And I thank you so much for joining in on the fun, Carl and his wife, with this. Loved your drawing, and I'm the one who added the little squirrels, and of course, fortunately, I hate to say I'm the one that added the meteor that kind of crashed into the cafe. But it's all in fun. I mean, this is Halloween, and to answer those questions that have come in, what happened to Roadie? Well, this is the result of what happened when the meteor crashed. Roadie, if you pay attention to the promo, Roadie was hit by the meteor. He was hanging on to the meteor as it was crashing, and his little squirrel friends, guess we all went out. We all went out and looked for him. They all seen him transform, and Roadie, the zombie, was born. The meteor evidently had some kind of weird, strange powers, and
he's like 10 feet tall.
Yeah, he's a giant squirrel now.
And now Carl says that he's not a pet, he's a nuisance. Now he's a big nuisance.
So here is Roadie, and this is what happened to him. And also want to say before we get coloring this, thank you to all those who have really enjoyed these. We're trying to make in these terrible times of the world, trying to add some beauty and some fun and excitement into your lives, and having you here joining us and really liking this really adds some joy into my heart as an artist and as a friend and as a human. I mean, it's just, we need a little bit of fun and love and some beauty, although I don't think Roadie is beauty, but we're going to make him beautiful today. So with all that being said, did I get all the disclaimers? I think I got all the Cansons, and we talked about Roadie. Once again, thank you, Carl. Loved your illustration. So let's go ahead and have some fun. I am going to be using the Copic markers and the colored pencils. Why I'm doing this is, let me tell you a little bit about comic book art, okay? Back in, I believe it was 1837, the first comic strip basically debuted. They were submitted to newspapers and so forth, and not until the, mid-1920s, early 1930s, the actual comic book debuted with its cover art. And I believe the first one was an action book, Superman, Volume 1, right?
Well, Action Comics, Volume 1, Superman, 1938.
1938. And if you look, I'm sure all of you have seen a comic book somewhere. The comic book, although it's kind of changed over the years, I mean, my favorite growing up as a kid were the little monsters. I think his name was Orville and Annie, weren't they? I think I got that right. Orville and Annie reminded me of the Addams Family, okay? But little kids, they were so cute. And of course, Dennis the Menace. But anyway, very simplistic coloring, but powerful. When you have, as the comic books, like if you look at the Walking Dead comic books, not the show, the comic books, the coloring is still kind of two-dimensional. It doesn't have a lot of detail, but what they play on is the light source, the shadows and the highlights. So that's what we're going to basically do today, is create some simple line art, or use some simple line art and turn it into something fun and easy breezy. Now when you use your Copics or anything, even your colored pencils, have a scratch piece of paper. And remember, if you think your paper is too thin, depending on what you printed out, throw a piece underneath here. Right now I have glass underneath this. So also, if you're here, give us a shout out. We promise we won't bite. Now I don't know about Roadie. He may. He's been running around here. So give us a shout out. Let us know you're here, and all that kind of good stuff. So what I'm going to do is, when I created this line art, I was going to add the heavier black lines for you, because in comic book art they do a lot of, like, if you have your shadow and they're outlining it, they do use a thicker like marker brush stroke in some areas to emphasize various things. I didn't want to do that for the line art because it may scare some of you. I have done it before, and when you're coloring line art, whether you're an artist or a colorist, sometimes it can throw you. So I didn't want to do that. So we'll get to that in a minute, how you can kind of darken up some of your areas. But first, I'm just going to go ahead and lay in some base color. And this is my Copics E51 Milky White. And I'm just going to kind of go ahead and do a light layer. Now, this is great to give you a nice base coat. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is a zombie squirrel. And we're going to make his mouth down here. Oh, we'll get into it, because this is Halloween. So expect a little, I guess, I don't want to say gore, but he's definitely a zombie, so he's not pretty.
Bringing that up, Marianne thinks that Carl's going to turn him into a pet before this is done. And he says, I doubt it. He's becoming more ugly with a long tail and areas of back looking like he's been through the war. And he's not kidding. He looks like he's on his last legs. And Davissa is here.
Hi, Davissa. Hi, Marianne, Glenda, Carl. Probably think Carl's wife is here too, so a shout out if she is here. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and... Of course, got one eye. One eye is missing. I opted not to color this in solid black. That's something for you all to do. I want to go ahead and kind of highlight the edges of his fur. And I'm not doing, solid strokes. This is more of a fun illustration, easy breezy. Yes, those are my Neganisms for today. We're talking about zombies, so what can I say?
Oh, Judith, Carl's wife, is here. She loves your sessions.
Hi, Judith. Thank you. Sorry about your roadie pest. And you can see I need to grab my other Copics, or my other milky white E51, and that one needs to be refilled. For those of you who have Copic markers or any of the alcohol-based markers that need to be refilled, do that over a sink counter that's not, whatchamacallit, that, lay down a rag or something so you don't get the ink on your counter. That would not work. I know I have plenty of E51s. Maybe I don't. Huh. Well, they were here. Don't you just love it on your desk when you have everything that you think and then you go and look and you don't have what you need? There it is. No, that's not it. That's the one I just had. E51. And no, we're not going to have a class about refilling them right now. Let's just say I have not mastered that art of refilling the Copics. These are the sketch Copics, by the way, that I use. As you can see, we have little squirrel visitors who will be joining us throughout the thing. And
Roadie was such a cute little squirrel.
He's cute, all right. These are the sketch, like I said. I prefer them with the brush tip over, over the chow markers.
Carl says he thinks Roadie has a family. Seen some smaller versions of him lately.
Oh,
Want me
no.
to send you some?
No. Thank you, though, but no.
I bet Marianne would love some.
I'll throw Marianne into that, huh? Marianne's probably saying, no. Now the thing about this is, and yeah, I went out of line there. Yeah, I'm not doing the background. You could go ahead and PNG this when it was done, or when it's done, like in Photoshop, and add them even to natural background, like a photo, or just color it like a nice gray or something, kind of creepy. You don't want to take away from the squirrel. The squirrel. You don't want to take away from Roadie. Okay. And let me go back to that haunted music box. For some of you, like I said, I do apologize for saying that about the my tents and recommending that and letting you know that's what I used. If you have tried it and you have ordered it and it works for you, I really love to hear. I'm hoping I did send out an email to those of you viewers who I knew who are watching, who I knew, like I said, by name, and kind of told you what was going on ahead of time. But hopefully they'll get it taken care of. Well, we hope. I'm going to add a little bit of this E51 down on his teeth. And I think we have a really good coverage for what I want. Let's get some on his toes here. All right. I want to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and color this eye in and his mouth in. I am using my Micron Pigma 050. I do not like the Copics black, whether it's in the Chow, which is a smaller version of the sketch markers. Both you can refill. I don't like using the black because it bleeds.
Carl wanted to know what color you were using in the Copic marker.
It is milky white. It's kind of like an ivory. I guess I can kind of home in on here.
And he's going to put Marianne on his mailing list. And she never has too many squirrels, and she'd love this little friend.
Oh, yeah. Now, I think I'll pass. I wonder if Roadie got into a fight or something. Or no, it's just a meteor. It's kind of funny because didn't the squirrel start having, didn't you start seeing him kind of mangled up? About when the Roadie's Pinecone Cafe came out. So maybe he did get attacked by a meteorite.
Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out to Anna. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so we got his mouth. Let's go ahead and get his nostrils in too. Like I said, I don't like using the Copic black. They do have a marker, the multi-liner markers, which mine, I need to get a new set. Don't bleed, but whenever I put black on something with the Copics, unless it's the last step, if any of my marker touches it, it bleeds. And I don't want the black. I want it as pure as possible. So we'll back that up there. That's why I use these. And you can get these like at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, off of Amazon. They're really cool. They come in different varieties. This is a 0.5. They even have one that's a brush end, a brush tip. So I want to go ahead and, let me see, I'm looking for my blue here. No, I'm going to save that. See, I change as I go. Okay. This is Hazelnut E23 in the Copics. And I want to go ahead and start laying in some of the shading, like up underneath his eye here. Here's his eyelid that looks, well, he's missing his eye, so maybe he ate it. I'm not too sure about that. And I'm going to go ahead and give him texture, and I'm doing that kind of like feathered. There we go, the feathered. I am doing that kind of feathered stroke with my Copics. Yeah. And you don't have to be perfect with this. I mean, after all, it is a zombie squirrel. So you want to add some character to it. Get his little eyelid going here. There's going to be a shadow here. And I want to go ahead and add a little bit of this onto his ear. But since his face is kind of the focal point, oh point. Oh yeah, I want to go ahead and make sure that there's enough texture going in on this face here. Now, for those of you who joined us last week, I did not give you the new contest. And the contest this week will be announced tomorrow in one of our promos. We are going back to the Midnight Carnival. It is Halloween, of course. We have to return back to the carnival. So our carnival barker will be joining us again. And he will have the new contest tomorrow. But I will tell you that the prizes, let me go ahead and do that right now. Are you eating those peanuts, Tom?
No, we had a little glitch with YouTube, and I'm dealing with that, but we're fine.
Okay. Gotta love it. One of the prizes is from Ohuhu. This is one of their, well, pardon me. It's not from Ohuhu. It's one of Ohuhu's set of 48 markers. These are brush markers, similar to Copics. I'm a Copic girl. I'd rather have them on the flat surface like that. They don't roll off like this is Copics. They don't roll off. They just kind of lay there. So I kind of really don't like the round barrels, but they are beautiful markers. They do have stoppers at the end, if you can see this, here and here. So it prevents them from rolling off on the desk. I just prefer my Copics overall. These are beautiful, vibrant markers. They're a set of 48, wide variety of colors here. They come in this canvas bag. And I'm also going to be going ahead and giving out next week, which is next Saturday at 3 o'clock. We'll be giving out one of my one of my Color of Love gift certificates, $20 gift certificate to one of the lucky winners next week too. So this is our prize, and like I said, we are going back to the carnival, so there'll be lots of. If Roadie allows us, hopefully he won't invade the carnival, but. Gotta love the squirrels. But oh no, I lost my train of thought.
I'm getting peanuts.
What was I saying?
You're talking about the markers.
Yeah, we'll be going back to the carnival, and oh, you'll have to see what image we're working on. You'll love it. Yes, it's one of those days. I'm just rolling with it. You're used to me by now. For those of you who are new, yes, I have MS, and this is what happens. And it can happen at any time. So, otherwise, having a pretty good day. Going ahead and, like I said, this is just really light colors. There's nothing.
He's going to be terrifying.
Really? He looks too cute right now. But as you can see, like in comic book art, this is even a little more fancier than the normal comic book coloring. I'm going to go ahead and get down here. Even though they go into a lot of detail, and I have my utmost respect for animators and comic book artists and all that, they do amazing work. It's just a different style, and it's kind of why I wanted to share this with you, because there's different ways of coloring pictures. You don't have to be pristine in coloring. I mean, it depends on the artwork and the look you're going for. So I'm trying to give you as diverse amount of styles as possible here. Because you never can tell when you'll be coloring a zombie squirrel, you know. And thanks to Carl and Tom, I think this is why we're coloring a squirrel. But it's kind of fun to bring a creature to life. I just hope Roadie doesn't come looking for me. Okay. And like I said, this is we have the texture in here. When we start adding the color pencils, it'll all be good. I want to add a little more highlight into his tail with that E51. So are y'all enjoying our 8-week color alongs? I hope you are.
Carl says that Roadie is packing his bags now. Roadie's going to Denmark. That'd be an interesting adventure for a southern squirrel.
I can see Marianne shutting her doors. No. Gonna make sure Roadie here has a little highlight on his tail. I don't want the tail to blend in pretty much with his body. So in order to do that, you want to go ahead and have some highlights.
Marianne wants to know, is he finally scared of Carl now? No, but I bet he's scared of Judith.
And I'm going to go ahead and very gingerly go around the fur. Now this is really the only area that you've seen me kind of slow down and watch very carefully what I was coloring.
It looks like those markers are a lot easier on your hands.
Oh, they are. This is why I like really laying down the Copics or the any kind of marker down first and going over with colored pencils. It saves wear and tear on hands. And I know a lot of you, like I've said before, have fibro, arthritis, all that kind of stuff, other hand issues. And this is a great way to get your base colorings down. And just have fun with it. I mean, this is all about having fun, adding some, character to him. He's an illustration. This is just, you're creating a comic book art. Put that in your head and just have fun with the squirrel. Like I said, pretty much all this was done with the feathered technique. And all that is you're flicking. So you have your pressure, of course, where you're going to hit it and up. You just kind of lift up off the paper. And there we go. Now let's see if I colored an area too strong. You can always go back with your lighter color and kind of blend out as you've seen me do before. Let me go ahead and lay that over here so I know what colors I've used.
Now, Carl says this little rodent isn't scared of anything. Judith chased him out of the yard yesterday, and he stopped and stared at her, and she was the one who ran away from him. Can you blame her? Look what the guy looks like here.
Wow. Okay, I'm looking for, once again, a particular color. Ooh, that's way too bright. I don't know if you guys can see what colors I'm trying to experiment here. Hope the lighting is good today. This is like one of my go-to colors. This is, yes, every set of whatever I have my favorite colors out of the bunch. This happens to be Buttercup. And I'm just going to go ahead and shade in a little round on the side of his nose. Because we got to create, remember, you got to create those highlights and those shadows to make them come alive. underneath his nose here. Let's add a little bit of this color into his ear.
So Marianne is suggesting to Carl to get a kitty cat. And Glenda and Davissa say that they don't have much practice with markers, but I've let them know it just takes practice.
Oh yeah. Hey, color with color pencils, and I've seen some of Davissa's work. She's there. She is. There is the queen right there who colors from dark to light with colored pencils. Don't know how she does it. I mean, I've played with it a little bit, but she's a pro at it. Davissa is the lady who colored my Tombstone Darlings coloring book and did a sunset. I'll add the link in the description below after this. She did this sunset with colored pencils, and I'm telling you, it's brilliant. Anyway, and also I'll give her a shout out. I can't remember. Davissa, go ahead and give us a link to your YouTube page. She just started on YouTube. She'll go ahead. I think it's D something.
DJ's Colorful Escape.
That's it. Give her a like and a shout out. Let her know I sent you over there.
She says thank you.
You are most welcome. Okay, now you can see how he's coming to life. And you can see the areas that I've missed here. You know, just you're blending it out now. With each color, you're reactivating and opening up the ink that you laid down. And it's softening those edges. And you can also use it to fill in. And when you color over it, that's why the markers, they do their own blending, more or less. A little bit up here. He's coming to life nicely.
I want to see how you make him look rotting.
Oh, I'm getting to that. Patience, Tom. Patience. I was going to say little Yoda.
Little Yoda.
The child. Ding. I love that. The Mandalorian, the child Yoda. I want one of the baby Yodas.
Nobody watches it for the Mandalorian. They just want to see the
It's
child.
about the child. It's about baby Yoda. I love the baby Yoda. How many of you have watched The Mandalorian? I mean, he's just the cutest. Yeah, no one cares about The Mandalorian. But you can see here how I've left. This is a prime example here. Look at it. Looks like his. I'm going to pan on in here if you can see. Look how uneven his fur is. That's fine. That's what we want. As a squirrel goes running through the studio. That's what you want, because you want to give him that. I mean, I have to ask Carl and Judith if that's kind of like what he looks like. But he's got molting and rotting fur.
You mean he has mange?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. They were saying something about he had tumors or something.
It's from that meteor.
Yeah, it's got radioactive tumors. What is that? Gizmo. Oh, I know the name of this.
Topher.
No, Gizmo. The little, Davissa, help me out. Spike is in it. And he don't feed after midnight.
Oh,
Gremlins. That's it. Okay, so what we have going on here is some really interesting, creepy, cool effects. Let me add. Although he's not creepy yet, but he does have a rotting eye.
Wow, Carl says Roadie wants a penthouse on 5th Avenue. He's famous now. Star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood is next. Yes, he has rotting fur and puffy cheeks that look like they're stuffed with nuts.
I'm looking for, I want something a little more orangey.
And a nasty temper.
A nasty temper. He's probably just a harmless little squirrel. He just wants some love because he's different. I'm tossed between these two. I'm looking for a terracotta.
Well, Davissa and Marianne like the Gremlins movie.
Oh, isn't he cute? Just Gizmo. And is he Rambo in the first one, or is it the second one?
So I can't
He drives
remember.
the little car. He's got the little bandana, and he's driving through. So cute. Don't feed him after midnight. What? You can't feed him. Can't feed him food. Can't feed him water. No, can't feed him food and never get him wet, because then he turns into something unholy. Okay, I am tossed between these two colors.
Carl says, "Don't laugh. If you had him around, you would want to get rid of him. Different. He is ugly, ugly."
I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for the mahogany. This is light mahogany, and I'll put the colors at the bottom. I'm gonna go for it. I don't know. I'm like tossed here between. As you can see, these two shades. A little bit of this color is gonna go a long way. Okay. So you want to use this pretty sparingly, but I want to get some different colors going on here. It is not a red. It is in the brown. Like I said, this is the EO7.
Now, here's a bit of trivia for you.
Okay.
Lady Heather, do you know who the voice was for Gizmo?
No.
Howie Mandel.
Oh, I knew that. Now that you said that, because he just said it on America's Got Talent not too long ago. Yeah.
Davissa said she made her daughter, who is almost 21, watch Gremlins with her, and she loved it too.
Oh, he's so cute.
And Marianne says maybe Roadie is being paired with a gremlin, Carl, and that's why he's getting so bad, because he's feeded all day long. Not just after midnight.
That's it, Marianne.
Now there's in February of this year, in July, I have green lighted an animated series of Gremlins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Secrets of the Mogwai.
No way.
Yes way.
What's it on?
Warner has it, so they'll probably throw it on HBO Max.
Wow. Oh, that's cool. Okay, although this is, I don't want it to look like blood right this second. That's the worst. But I wanted that terracotta. I wanted that fur from the highlights, and it could be. Who knows? But I wanted to. Okay, we're going to take a small break here, and we'll be right back with you, okay? Stay there and talk to you soon. Well, we'll be right back to color. All right, thanks for having patience with us. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use my dark brown. This is really a dark brown, but if you flick it or do the feathering thing, you can see how it goes from dark to light. And I want to go ahead and add some of these shadows underneath here. And I'm going to feather that out. And I'm going to make like his head area kind of stand out. Now, if I've already gone over some of the colors, like you've already seen me lay down, that's fine. We're adding that texture and that dimension to it. So by doing this, we're sinking back his, we're bringing up his eyes. Let's put it that way. This is probably going to give Carl and them nightmares now. Now, Roadie's already been doing that, I think.
You want to send Carl the original art on this one.
Oh, I could. Yes, indeed. I like doing that. How many of you would like for a prize next week, out of, let's say you won, maybe at the end of the week, or at the end of the 8 weeks, the last episode would be one of the original artworks I should give away. How many of you would like that as a prize? Go ahead and give us a shout out.
And Davissa says, Heather, Aiden said to tell you hi.
Hi, Aiden.
And Marianne's impressed what the last color does to this. It just makes it jump, doesn't it?
Thank you. Please tell me I'm not scaring Aiden away with the
and
squirrel.
Everybody thinks that giving away the original artwork is a great idea.
Excellent.
You know, when I was reading up on comic art, they said that one of the first examples was a ceiling of the Sistine Chapel by Michelangelo as being comic art because it told the story as you looked across the ceiling.
Really?
Yep.
I never would have put his art as far as comic book. That's... And you can see I'm using this, like I said, very sparingly. And I'm going in different directions. Don't be afraid, even if you use colored pencils on this or whenever you're coloring, don't be afraid to go in different directions and give your work the texture and stuff.
Carl says, Heather, we have a friends with a special needs child, having them over next week to watch your presentation. He loves to draw, and we think he will enjoy your work.
Oh, awesome. Who is this?
Carl says this.
Oh, awesome.
And Davissa says that she hasn't done color alongs yet on her page, but she'll be doing them very soon after she gets her son to bed.
Excellent. Oh, no, you should have him join. Get his little feet in here.
Now, this says something about Copic markers because you've had this set for years.
Yes.
And they are still working.
Yes. And I've very, very rarely refilled them. And I don't understand. I hear a lot of, that's a good That's a good point. I think I just drew all over my face, didn't I?
No.
No? Okay, I just thought I just drew
We
right
could
all
if you
over my
want to.
face. No, that's okay. Copics. I don't know why. I know a couple colorists who go through Copics at a record pace. I'm gonna, and here's my point. Okay, and I've had the refills. Okay, and one of my main staples is the I'm telling you, they're not been opened. One of my main staples is the skin tone. This is the skin tone. This is one of them, E50. This is between E50 and E51. You only add about 10 drops, if that, in at a time. I don't go through my Copics. I use them. I use them a lot. I mean, I've done big illustrations, artwork. I think the biggest one I did was on illustration board, 16 by 20. Matter of fact, it was because that's the cover art I did for the Scarlet Literary magazine, and a few years ago, and did the cover art for that. Did it all in Copics. Still didn't have to refill them, and I don't know why. The only thing I can think of is why people go through their Copics at a record pace is because they're pressing, and you don't have to. I mean, the more I press on it, yeah, the darker it's going to get. I mean, you can just barely touch your page, and you get ink. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Oh, there goes our squirrel again. Yes, we're going to have to find that little...
He's after your peanuts, Lady Heather.
Yeah, that's it. No, leave my snacks alone.
When I was a boy, my father had a friend, and he would lure a chipmunk nearby, and he'd hold up this shelled, that peanut in the shell like we had, and he'd show it to the chipmunk, and he'd put it in his shirt pocket, and that chipmunk would crawl up his leg, up his arm, over his arm, grab the peanut, and take off.
I love little chipmunks.
And then they get attacked by the blue jays.
Oh no. I love little chipmunks. Especially love Chip and Dale from Disney. Chip and Dale Rescue
Marianne
Rangers.
says your Copic lives that long because the gremlins come by at night and refill them for
Is that
you.
what it is? See? I knew it. I don't know what it is. That's it. She answered it. Case solved.
Now, Carl's probably old enough to know this, but the old Chinese man who had Gizmo the Gremlin was played by Key Luke. And when he was young, he played Charlie Chan's #1 son back in the 30s.
Cool. We'll have to keep everyone informed as to the adventures of Roadie. But you can see how long are we into this today?
Lady Heather, we have been on now for over an hour.
Okay, and you can see how he's really come to life. Let me go ahead and get his foot in here. Make sure you got your shadows in right. You know, his leg is over here, so it's going to be a little darker here. Play with it. Just go ahead and have fun.
Carl says, I loved squirrels till Roadie came along. You bet I know about him. Thanks, Tom, for revealing my age. And Marianne says, gosh, this really looks fabulous now. I think I'm in love with him, Heather.
Oh, you're welcome, I think. Then you'll enjoy Roadie when he arrives.
But the only thing missing is the squirrel brains in his hand.
Yeah, no. Gonna add a little bit of this as a shadow for his tongue. This is E74 Cocoa Brown. And I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this up as a shadow, just as a line. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this into his nose. Kind of left that out.
Marianne says, "Don't worry, Carl. You're not alone."
Okay, I missed a portion of his mouth here. I'm going to go back in with my black Pigma. This is not a tooth. There, now. Matter of fact, I'm going to change that there. Ha! Artist prerogative, I changed that there. Okay. I'm going to go get my gray. Remember, there's 3 different kinds of gray in the Copics. There's warm, there's cool, and there's neutral. Oh, there's 4. And there's the tonal gray. The neutral, be careful when you add that to various colors. Always try it on a different sheet because, yes, it does change colors.
And Carl says, "Sure, having a great time today. Judith looks forward to this every weekend." Thank you, Heather.
Awesome. Well, wait until you see what we're going to do for Christmas and the winter months.
And Davissa has a bunch of squirrels in her yard. It's crazy, and Carl's begging her not to send them his way. Every time I see that commercial with the lady in the park with the squirrels and the Jif peanut butter,
Yeah.
I think of Carl.
Oh, I know! I just saw that today!
With the guy with the squirrel mask
Oh,
on.
yes! Oh,
Jif,
no!
Jif, Jif.
It's the first time I've seen it. I'm like, oh, look at all those squirrels! Adding a little bit of this gray in here. And it happened to be when I was doing posting the attack of the zombie squirrel for my Patreons today, and that came on, and I turned around and I'm like, aw, look at those little squirrels.
See, Glenda says he's amazing, Heather. I think I'm going to have to try using markers.
They're really fun, and if you don't have, I got these markers. I am like a little thrifty shopper, okay? Probably like one of the few artists who like buy on whatchamacallit when they're on sale. But I don't know. I'm sure you don't have Hobby Lobby or Michael's over there. But I wait for them on sale and I use the 40% off coupon or the buy one get one free, and that's how I stock up. But for those of you who are in the States, Hobby Lobby, usually right after Christmas, if you go on in, and they'll have in the clearance section, they'll have all the Copics that they're getting rid of, like for 50 cents.
Judith
really
says
cool.
she can hardly wait for the Christmas sessions because she loves Christmas, and says, "Heather, you truly love what you do. Very talented. God has blessed you."
Well, thank you. Yeah, I do. I don't know, Tom. Do you think for Christmas we should go ahead and read the... Santa should come and read the children's book I wrote, the Rory's Christmas Adventure?
Sure.
I think that would be a great idea. Rory, one of my original characters that was done back in 2012 for a show.
2012.
Yeah. Anywho, a little bit of trivia there. I'm going to go ahead and add my warm gray if I can find it. Ha.
Marianne says it's a bit weird why you have so many squirrels over there. I remember when we visited our friends in Charleston, they had hundreds of them in their garden. She spent hours watching them every day, and she thinks the Rory story would be a fabulous idea.
Excellent.
And Davissa thinks so too.
adding this warm, and you can see I'm not having any rhyme or reason. Well, there's always reason, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just randomly adding a little bit of this color, just giving him in some areas. This is the warm gray. Like to use this as basically what I'm doing now, just as shading. Have to be careful with your cool and your warm, especially the neutrals.
What's the difference, Lady Heather?
The warm gray has a little bit of red undertone. The cool has a little bit of blue base. The neutrals are neutrals, but they change the color. The tonals, the tonal grays that they have are more of a blue based also. Okay.
Carl says, great idea. Give him a bigger head than he already has. I'll have to expand my yard for all of his friends. Coming back in with a little bit. And I'm going to grate that buttercream. One of my favorite Copics. Okay. I'm just going to give it a once over here. See what I do. I think I'm definitely going to get my tonal gray. You can see this is the tonal. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a once over here before I get out the Prismacolors. Oh, here you go. Carl says, Charleston has many squirrels, but more gators. Say, Heather, how about alligators for a project?
Oh, yeah. Can go back into the bayou. I actually have something in the work with the alligators. It's been a long, you know which one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on one of those bayou tours where the alligator jumps out of the water to eat the chicken suspended off the side of the boat?
No, I've been in Florida where they've had this is many years ago at Gatorland where they've done that.
When those jaws snap shut.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 2x4s clapping together.
Oh, yeah. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about that, watch James Bond's Live and Let Die, one of my favorite James Bond movies. Although it does have Roger Moore, okay, it's creepy in New Orleans and the voodoo guy. Don't say voodoo guy. Could bring back Dr. Lolo. We don't, or Lulu. Lolo. What is it? Lulu.
Dr. Lolo.
Oh, no, we don't need to contact him or anything like that. We've done our voodoo session. Although I had people who want me to do, what is it? That witch, the Sharma?
Yeah.
The Sharma witch? I may do that. I still have 1 week open. And I'm thinking about, since my birthday is on Halloween, and Halloween is open, is on Saturday, right?
I think it's on a Saturday, yeah.
I don't know. I got a feeling Trick or Treat.
It is on a Saturday.
I'm thinking we should go live because maybe during the day or on Friday before, because I just have this feeling there's going to be no trick-or-treaters. I don't know about you guys in the rest of the world, but...
Hey, this is America. We got trick-or-treaters. Now,
Dr. Lolo.
Glenda's looking forward to Christmas inspiration, and Marianne said that she saw a picture that she took in the Everglades where a gator came up next to the boat. She was lucky to get the shot. And
wow, that would have freaked me out.
Carl and Judith saw that movie and loved it.
Oh yeah, that is really cool.
But it's a Roger Moore Bond film.
Well, I know, but it's still pretty awesome.
It's not Sean Connery.
I know it's not Sean Connery. Okay, so I'm getting my Prismacolors. I have my Prismacolor premieres. And I'm getting them all laid out. For all you know, they come in big sets like this of the 60. And I want to get some blues going in here. Yes, I said blues. I'm going to go ahead and play with his one eye here. This is blue violet, is it? Blue Violet Lake. And I want to kind of add a little bit here of the blue. This might not be my blue I want. Yeah, it is.
And Mary Ann said it freaked her out when that gator came up right next to her hubby. It had its mouth wide open and snapped the minute it came up.
Oh, I bet it would. It would have freaked me out too. Jumping spiders in Halloween stores scare me. So.
Davissa says they're not going to cancel trick-or-treating, but she's not sending her son out. She's going to do something cool at home.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. Davis is like the queen of horror, like I am, horror movies and stuff. So
Glenda's on my side. She says Sean Connery is Bond. I'm sorry, he's the only one that can say shaken and not stirred. Roger was good, but for me, there's only one Bond.
Yeah, I didn't like. I mean, I'm not a James, or I'm not a whatchamacallit. I'm not a whatchamacallit.
You're not a what?
I'm not a.
Come on.
I'm not a Roger Moore lover either. I just love that movie.
So,
plus, it had Solitaire. She and the
Jane
and
Seymour.
Wasn't Sidney Poitier was in that?
No.
Really? Did we have this discussion before? Because
we did. You have false memory.
No, I don't.
And Carl says Roger Moore is Judith's favorite, but Sean Connery is his. And Marianne says Sean Connery is the only real Bond here too. When you remember when Goldfinger has him on the table and he's going to cut him with a lazy, he says, "Do you expect me to talk, Goldfinger?" And he's like, "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die." Come on, it doesn't get any better than that.
I don't know. Okay, I'm adding the blue here.
Which blue is that, Lady Heather?
Sky blue. Usually I use powder blue. Okay. We're going to be getting a new pencil
Lady
sharpener.
Heather needs a new pencil sharpener.
I kid you not.
Oh, and Carl says Goldfinger's on TV there tonight in South Carolina.
Oh, really? And I'm using this blue as like the highlights to give him a creepy kind of glow in between the sky blue and the that sounded like blue violet. I think I may be turning into a zombie squirrel here. But I mean, we're barely using the color pencils, on this, and look how it's coming to, it's really kind of getting really creepy now. I'm telling you, you're all going to have nightmares about this.
He's looking really good on playback, Lady Heather.
Thank you. He's really looking creepy. We're scared of Roadie. He doesn't want to play any little squirrel games anymore. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is really, this is really getting creepy. I'm looking at this going,
oh, you're being challenged by Carl. He says, "Oh, come on, my Roadie is worse than this guy. This guy is cute compared to my creepy rodent."
I'm loving this guy, okay? Okay, a little
Where's
more.
the blood? Where's the gore?
Not yet.
Oh.
And you can see why I left the edges white on some of this, so it'll make it stand out more. And once again, I'm not coloring it in solid, not the normal way you color it in. If it goes outside the lines, that's fine. And that's just some strands of fur. I mean, have fun with this. This is all about having fun. It's Halloween. We're in a haunted cemetery drawing zombie squirrels. I mean, how cool is this?
When you get that done, you should pop him into Photoshop and put a really cool background behind him.
Oh, yeah. And this little guy is going to be going off to Carl. So in case something happens to his Roadie, since Roadie sounds like he's on his last legs, you'll always have something to remember him by.
Marianne says, it's truly amazing to see how it all changes when you add this last color here again.
Yeah, it's just, it's so much fun just to dive in and do, off the beaten path things.
And see, when you see her lay down the initial colors for Roadie, you have no idea it's going to end up quite this creepy looking.
He's like glowing.
He glows. He's radioactive from that meteor.
Oh, we could add a little bit of green.
Like Gilligan.
Oh, I love Gilligan. When they're in the silver paint and that,
yep.
When the meteor crashes. How many of you have watched Gilligan's Island? It's another good show. We don't have TV like that anymore. Addams Family, Munsters, Gilligan's Island, Family Affair. That was great. Buffy, Jodie, Mr. French. That's not a horror thing, but sharpening my
Devissa said
pencil
she
too.
saw.
She saw?
She saw Gilligan's Island.
It was so cool, a little meteor.
I had a young kid from Mexico work with me years ago, and he got injured and he was off for 8 weeks, and his English was only kind of so-so. And when he came back, his English was so good, and I said, Junior, how did you learn such good English? He said, oh, Tom, I watched the television. He said, I watched Woody Woodpecker and the Monsters.
The Monsters.
The Monsters. So see, it was good educational television.
It was back then. I mean, it was fun and harmless, and don't get me going on that.
Marianne says, and please, if you Photoshop him, can we not all have an image on Patreon of the finished image? I would absolutely love that.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to come in with my white. Something's bothering me here about this for a minute. Too light for that area there, so I had to go ahead and darken that up.
Poor Roadie.
Poor Roadie, poor everyone in the Pine Cone Cafe. And all his buddies. Now he's, I don't know, maybe someone will change him back. He just needs a little love. That's all. That's it. Carl and Judith, gotta go give Roadie a hug. Love will fix him.
I'm not betting on that, but
Just build him a little squirrel house and a little bed. How are we doing on time?
we are at 1 hour and 20 minutes, Lady
Oh
Heather.
boy.
You're going to have him done in record time.
Okay. Don't blend out your pencils here. Okay? As you can see, don't blend them out. Leave them. Give them that grunge look. He's dirty. He's nasty. He's been hit by a meteor. He's glowing nuclear radioactive things. And as I look down from underneath my desk, emerges Bella, my Shih Tzu, and she crawls. She's stalking her water dish.
She has to sneak up on the water dish. And if you catch her,
She stops.
she'll stop and act all nonchalant.
A little bit of chartreuse here. Kind of giving him that kind of glowy, creepy factor. Yeah, from what I heard, her original owner, or her breeder, I guess you want to say, yep. Her grandfather, Bella's her grandfather, stalked the water dish. This dog, she will literally start, like, it takes her 5 minutes to get to the water dish. I have to make a video and show this because it's just too funny.
Well, Davissa, Marianne, and Carl all think it looks amazing. So
Thank you. Adding a little bit of glow. His nuclear, his radioactive glow. You must keep me informed, Carl, how Roadie is doing.
personally, I think they should take him in.
Oh, I don't think they're gonna. No, they could call animal.
No. Bring him into the house.
Oh no!
It's going to get cold out there this winter.
Yeah. Well. Want to go ahead and grab a brown with my color pencils. This is sienna. This is a very loose coloring, very just simple, fun. I mean, you can see I'm just buzzing right along.
Maybe you could get Carl to take a picture of his backyard and you could Photoshop him into the picture.
Oh, yeah. I know, if Carl would be game on that.
Carl says, wouldn't you be surprised, Tom, if I showed up with him on your front porch as a Christmas present?
Jeez.
And Marianne says, oh yeah, maybe he's behaving so nasty because he's freezing and wants to go inside.
See?
Roadie just wasn't happy with the bird seed anymore. And Carl says he has a drinking problem too.
Roadie? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's see, where is that chartreuse again? And I'm going to come in with my red. I think this is the red I want. Maybe. Yeah. A little bit of red here and there. Use it sparingly. Adding a little bit of the red in here. As I said, very, very sporadic here. You don't want to overpower something like this. I mean, I know it's a zombie squirrel. But you can overkill it here.
Carl says, what a shame the real Roadie doesn't know how famous he has become. Maybe Carl can show this rendition to Roadie.
Yeah, that's it. And I really don't want to add too much of the red in here. We'll just call it red. But just enough to give it I gotta go around this eye here. Maybe a little bit on his tail. A little bit on his feet. Like he's been clawing after something. Just gave him red nail polish. How's that? All right, so I'm going to come back in and I'm going to grab my black polychromo. I do like the Prismacolor, but for something like this I need that super, super strong black. Oh, I found my brown. That's still not it. Don't like that shade in there. Okay. Hold on a second before we do that. Let me go ahead and grab my... Just kind of get those teeth in there going. Couple little touch-ups here. Ugh, that is one bad looking squirrel. I want to go ahead and highlight that eye a little bit, that eye socket. Just a little. So it's not so just dark, dark. And I need my red again, because after all, it's going to have a little bit of red on his teeth. Oh yeah. And I'm going to grab that black polychromo. One of my staples is the polychromos in the white and the black. They're oil-based, not wax-based. They still are a colored pencil. And now I'm just going to go ahead and really make this come to life. Now I could have done this with marker in the original illustration for you, but I opted not to for this so you could see.
Glenda says, by adding the pencil, he's gone from almost cute to scary.
Yes.
Carl says he enjoyed this so much as always. Have to go now. Gotta run Roadie over to Hobby Lobby to buy some pencils for him. Back next week. Love this drawing.
Bye, Judith and Carl. Have a good one. Thanks again. Okay. So basically, it's just fine-tuning now. Like I said, these are the strongest pencils I've seen to really make things kind of stand out. And like I said, it's up to each, your own preference, what works for you. This works for me. I am using about medium pressure here. And I'm basically, like I said, just reinforcing some of those black lines like that. I think this is really, totally awesome. Gnarly. You get it? Gnarly tooth. Okay. It's just basically adding definition now. Bring down that shadows. Bring down the strands of the black. Don't be afraid at this time. You can't. Something like this, he's already so grungy and mangy and all that, and covered in zombie, meteorite, radioactive waste. Okay. Now, if I find my Harry Potter cauldron, it's right back there. Okay. My Harry Potter pencil cauldron. I am looking for my white gel pen. We're going to try this again. Going to add a little bit of highlights. Yes, this is the Pentel Milky Pop. And it's going to give me what I need, or it should. I'm to the point I really can't stand working with gel pens because they dry out the minute I open them. I tell you what, I know what I'm going to use. My top secret super weapon. It's called Pen Touch. This is a 1mm. This stuff works. Now it won't. Are you kidding me? No way.
Here, I'll work with that lady, Heather.
Oh, there it goes. No, it doesn't. What in the world? Oh, this is so not right. This is so not right. Okay, while Tom works on that, I'm going to my other white. Oh, this is not cool. Not cool, not cool. I don't want my Lynx Estella. That's not going to work.
Here you go, Lady Heather.
It's coming out way. I tell you, I can't stand the white. Oh, this is leaking. Eek! This is not what I want. Well, I'm gonna make it work, people.
It wasn't so long ago we bought that pen.
I know, right? Okay, this is still not. Make it work. Hey, well, I can at least say, at least the color stayed down on the paper this time.
Sure did.
So remember, next week, the contest, or the contest for next week, when we announce the winners, will debut tomorrow. Make sure you tune into the promo. So make sure you like, give a thumbs up too, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss the instructions of how to win. Still, something's not right with it. I'm trying hard here. Hold on, I'm going to try something. Never, ever, ever fails. I'm just trying here with different pens here. I am not having any luck. Mental note, do not open up the gel pen until you go online. Don't try it. How many of you have problems with your gel pens doing this? I think he's about done. I'm digging this guy.
Well, he's done when the signature goes on, right?
Indeed. This has been so much fun.
We had a good time with it.
Yes, and I hope you have too. Let me pan in on here. I think Roadie approves. Thank you for joining us. Had a blast. Next live stream for my lady Heather-o-ween, that'll be week number 6, is Saturday, next Saturday at 3 p.m. This seems to be a great time for everyone. Hope you had fun joining in the Halloween celebration. Hey, now you know how to color a zombie squirrel. Remember, for those of you who do not have this image yet and want to join along in the replay of this, you can go ahead and visit my color, COLOUR of loveshop.com. Pick them up or join my Patreon and get them for free as a special treat from me to you. Thank you to all my Patreons. Thank you to all my watchers. Thank you. Hope you had as much fun as we did. So all for now.
And all the squirrels say thank you so much too, even Roadie.
So have a good day till next time.